Hey, what's going on? In this video, I want to show you how to set up Tailwind CSS with a Vue app using Vue CLI. I want to get your Vue app to a point where it's ready to develop without any worries of setup. Sounds pretty simple, right? Well, it actually is because Vue CLI does a lot of the work for us. A couple things you should know before we get started. You should know a little bit about Vues. It's a JavaScript front-end framework. You should know a little bit about Tailwind CSS. And if you don't know about Tailwind CSS, I have a tutorial series that goes in depth into building a homepage and how to use the different utility classes. You can check it out on my YouTube channel, and I'll post it down below in the description. You should also have Node installed. So if you don't know if you have Node installed, you can type node-v. And if you get a version number or something, a version number similar to this, you should be okay. If you don't, then go to nodejs.org, click on and download the recommended version, install that, and you should be ready. I'll be using Visual Studio Code. You can get it at code.visualstudios.com. It's a free download, has everything you need, lots of extensions, and a built-in terminal. All right, if we have all that, let's get started. I'm on Vue CLI here. If I scroll down to the bottom, it has some commands down here. If you've never installed or used Vue CLI, you probably don't have it installed, but you can check it out by doing vue -- version. And if you get a version number, then you should be okay. If not, then go ahead and get this command, npm install -g at vue/CLI. The -g is for global, so I'll install it globally, so it won't be just specific to your project. So I'm not going to go ahead and install this because I already have it installed, but if you don't, go right ahead. And we'll start off with creating our Vue app. Vue, create, and I'm going to name our project, or my project, Vue CLI -tw. Okay, so I'm going to go manual. Usually, I guess for this, you could do Vues too, but I want to install a preprocessor. So I'm going to do that. Typically, I would put in route and Vuex, but I'm not going to do that. So I'm just going to do this for the preprocessor. I'm going to do Vues 2. I'm going to use Dart Sass, no linting, lint on save, and dedicated config files. And no. Okay, so that's all installed. Let's go and change directory, cd vue into our project. And I'm going to open up VS Code. Okay, just going to do this, full screen it. Slide that over. Okay, let's see what we have already set up, pre-built. Okay, let's serve our app up. npm run serve. And this script is right here within our this package.json. Okay, that's served up. Let's go check it out. So this is what a default Vue's app looks like. Okay, so we have our Vue app working. Now let's install Tailwind. Let's go over here. I can close these up. I don't need that one. So let's get started here. First thing we can do is install Tailwind. You can do that by running npm install Tailwind. And I'm going to do -d, capital D for dev dependency. All right. Okay, step 2. Let's create our source CSS file. So I'm going to do mkdir -source assets CSS. That's going to create it in here. And I'm going to do and create our CSS file. Now we can just grab this here post it right into our file. And this is just code that Tailwind, the package that we just installed, converts or includes these sections into our source CSS file. Okay, now next step, let's build our Tailwind config file, and Vue CLI uses post CSS to build our CSS file. Now what we need to do here is we'll take this command npx tailwind and it'll build both of those files for us. Okay, beautiful. We had both of these. They both popped up there. Now we need to add some purge to it for when we're building out our app for production. So it's going to go in and check out all the HTML files within public and all the Vue files within source. And it's going to check to see all the styles that we're not using, or only the styles we're using, and purge out everything we're not using. Okay, save that. And this allows us to also extend our Tailwind as well. Okay, so within our post CSS, so this is the default one. We're going to grab this one here that's on the site. And paste that, save there. And I think that's it. Actually, no. Got a little bit ahead of myself. I'm going to go over here into the main.js of the Vue app. Okay, module. And we need to include dash source. Oh, we're in source assets slash CSS dash Tailwind CSS. So this is we're importing our source CSS file into our main .js. Okay, so I think that's it. Let's reserve this up. Okay, so it's reserved up. Let's go and check it out. We reload that. Yeah, so it's all working. Yeah, so this is all working. If we go back to here, let's go into our app. And if I apply a class, let's call it red BG, oh, BG red 500. And our Tailwind CSS class is working. Okay, so that's pretty much it for setting up Tailwind CSS with a Vue app using Vue CLI. So we got our app to a point where we're ready to do this. Now, what I want to do here is I want to create a component and show you guys where you guys can add your Tailwind CSS classes to have it live update, and you won't have to worry about it too much. Okay, so I'm going to go over to Tailwind components. Let's go to the site. Let's search for clone. Okay, I don't want to go into anyone that is too crazy. Let's just grab this one. It's mobile friendly looking. And I won't have to resize this. Let's grab that. Now I'm going to create a component. Touch component, and I'm going to call it app main.view. Have that create here. And just post that in there. Okay, so I just basically just copy and pasted this component here into this component. All right, let's load it in. So we need app main. Replace that, and replace that. Hopefully if I save that and delete this and get rid of this BG background, Let's reload. Oh, get rid of this logo as well. Okay, so we have a component here ready to go. And I just copied and pasted it from this Tailwind component site. Okay, let's go and take a look at their code. So I'm gonna do first thing here. Let's see if they have any inline style. So they got 1, 2, no, that's not inline style. Okay, so they have one here. So let's grab that, see what that does. Okay, so I think it was right here. Let's paste it back in just to see. Yeah, so it's making this here. So I guess it's making it so it's a certain height right here. And I guess Tailwind doesn't have this 400 height. What we can do here is we can go in here and extend it and do 400 pixels. Save that. And let's add the class H400. And it added it. Okay, so very easily we're able to extend and create our own utility classes, have it save here, and it live updates. So we don't have to restart our server, run a watch script, anything like that. Now, let's take a look at something else here. What else can we do? I got these avatars here. So they're all circled. I think it's this. Let's grab here. So let's grab that. I'm gonna delete it and call it avatar. Okay, save that. So I've changed all of them right now. So they're all square now. Now I'm gonna go to our source CSS file and go tar, add apply, paste in our code, save it, and they're all back. And it allows us to easily change them if I want to make them super tiny. Yeah, so they're all super tiny. Change it back. So we're able to make global changes to our global styles within our source CSS file. And you can chain a bunch of different classes all the way down. You can make changes to the body if you wanted to. Say I wanted to apply BG red 500. And let's make it blue 200. And hopefully it overrides it. Not I can do an import because I think there's already a important. So I think there's already a style. Oh, probably because there's already a style. You can't see behind the body. Let's go up and yeah, delete that. So now it's blue. Okay, and I can make it go back to what did they have it? Gray 200. Make it back to gray 200. And we can get rid of the important here. Okay, and the last thing I want to show you guys is app level or component level styles. So I want to go in, let's see here. Let's take a look at these little badges here. See if there's anything green. So it looks like it, yeah, I think it might be it. Let's take that. Okay, so I got rid of that. So let's grab this. I'm going to call it badge. And they're all gone. And we can go down to the bottom of our component, do add apply. Oops. Do badge. And these will be component level style changes. So these will only live within the component. But we only have one component, so it's irrelevant. But if you had this as a component, or you had the avatar specifically as a component, if you had a badge and you had it elsewhere with this class, then this one would only affect what's within the component because it's scoped to it right here. So as you can see, it's back. We can make blue if you want. We can make it red for danger. Okay, they're all offline now. Okay, this guy's pretty popular. You got 2 unread, 4 unread messages. Okay, so the final thing I want to do is build out the app. So let's go and do that. Control C, build out the app, C, purge CSS in action. So we can do npm run build. Okay, so we can see our build. We can see that our CSS file is only 7 kilobytes. And a bunch of other stuff here. If we want to go and check it out as well, you can see here. So here's our CSS file, minified and everything, and it looks like it's purged out everything. Normally, a full Tailwind CSS file is about 2.4 megs in size, and this is just a small 7 kilobyte file. Yeah, so as you can see here, Vue CLI does a lot of the work for us. It watches all of our files, live updates, manages the local server, manages the build, so you don't have to really do too much customization when you're starting off from scratch. All right, so I think that pretty much covers what I wanted to cover with setting up the Vue app with Tailwind CSS and Vue CLI. That wraps up the video. Just a quick overview of what we did. We created a Vue app using Vue CLI. We installed Tailwind CSS, configured it with Post CSS. We were able to create global style changes within our source CSS file with our avatar. We were able to create a custom utility class, that height utility class that was an inline style before. We were able to create these badges, and we added that as a component level style. And all those changes were all done live, so we didn't have to wait and rebuild any of the stuff. So Vue CLI handled most of that. And at the end of it, we were able to build out our Vue app for production. And it used purge CSS to get rid of all the styles that we didn't need, leaving us with just a small 7-8 kilobyte file. So yeah, so that's pretty much all I wanted to cover. And hopefully I'll talk to you guys in the next video. Thanks for watching the video. I hope you enjoyed the content so far. If you have any questions or feedback, please leave a comment down below. To stay updated with the latest content from the channel, you can subscribe by clicking right here in the middle.